Better Daily, where we work hard in our minds, bodies, and our spirits to become 1% better every single day. Download the app and join our Betterment family at betterdaily.live to catch the video version of these podcasts. Here's your host and my dad, Alex Van Houten.
What is up, Betterment family? This is Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. Happy Friday. It is Flex Friday, and today is a special Flex Friday because today is the day following the Faithful 40 Challenge finish. So today we're going to talk about what you do when the challenge is over, and we're going to highlight some of the takeaways from those in our community who participated in the Faithful 40 Challenge. Some were faithfully committed every single day to making their posts, and some of them, well, weren't able to make all of the posts, but still saw progress despite the obstacles going on. And that is what we do in 1% Better Daily mentality. We take on the day. We do our best to take the hand we've been dealt and play the best game, to be a good steward of the blessings we've been given, even if it means we have to work a little harder to recognize the blessings. So it was an awesome Faithful 40 Challenge. I want to go through some of the things that individuals did and took away from the challenge. I also want to talk a bit about my personal experience and some of the things that I'm doing following the Faithful 40 Challenge. But before I get to those things, I do want to talk about what you do at the end of a challenge, because here's the thing. Challenges can be a very productive and powerful way to move your health and fitness journey forward, mind, body, and spirit. Challenges are a good way to help you discipline yourself, a good way to help you try things on for size, a good way to help you to become aware of things that you could be doing to make yourself better, or that maybe aren't the best fit for you. So I want to talk about that psychology and that mentality, and I want to talk about what you do following a challenge. So when I started in the health and fitness industry, I worked for a very large company. And I say I started, I worked for a few years in the health and fitness industry before I started working for this company, but I worked for this company for just about 8 years. And they had a challenge. It was the 90-day challenge. And then later they were like, wow, this makes us a lot of money. They ran the 90-day challenge twice a year. Well, then they turned it into the 60-day challenge and they ran it 4 times a year. And well, that became just a nice marketing ploy. It was the best move for people's health and fitness, but we'll talk about that in a second. What's up, John? Good to see you this evening. So these challenges, the way they ran was whoever could lose the most weight as a percentage of their body weight, they had a chance to win $10,000. It's a lot of money, right? So all of the clubs nationwide would encourage people to be a part of these 90-day challenges, and they would work out and they would eat, a certain way, and maybe they would buy training and they'd get a discount on club services and stuff, and people would lose a massive amount of weight. It was like The Biggest Loser light, that TV show where people lost as much weight as possible, and the person who lost the least weight that week, they were out, but people were working hard and eating very, very little calories and stuff like that. Well, I'm familiar with the literature, and I was also familiar with the psychological aspects of weight loss, and I didn't like these challenges. I really didn't like them. For the most part, there were some redeeming benefits from them, but by and large, I thought they were very unhealthy, because The Biggest Loser, every contestant who ever won The Biggest Loser, the people who were The Biggest Loser, they gained all their weight back, except one lady did not gain her weight back. One lady out of, I want to say, 36 participants who won The Biggest Loser gained all their weight back. And we're talking hundreds and hundreds of pounds, right? And so I knew this. And the same thing was true about the 90-day challenge. People in the 90-day challenge, it actually became this very interesting thing where we had 2 different years where this guy won the 90-day challenge, losing the same weight he lost last time. Okay, let that sink in for a second. He did the 90-day challenge, lost 130 pounds in 90 days, and then gained it all back before the next 90-day challenge, and then lost the same 130 pounds the following 90 days. That's very impressive and very unhealthy, because the spirit of a good health and fitness challenge should be And this is the benefit. This is the positive that could come out of a challenge. The spirit of a good challenge should be, hey, you have something that's very important to you, and you've known for a bit that it's important to you, and you just haven't done it yet, and we're not sure why, but we're all going to get together and do the thing that we know we should be up to, and we're going to do it together. And that's going to feel good because we're going to do it in community. We're going to do it together. And that's the spirit of a good challenge. We're all in this thing together. Everybody's doing it. And, that's the old, your mom says, Alex, if everybody jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? Usually the correct answer was no, you don't jump off the bridge with the yahoos are jumping off the bridge. But that's a very, very positive and powerful social force. Everybody's doing it. What is everybody doing? Everybody's working toward their goals right now. So should you. And that feels good. And it inspires camaraderie, and you're not alone, because a lot of times in your health and fitness journey, you are alone. You're the one waking up early in the morning. You're the one deciding what to eat and what not to eat. You're the one who has to answer to you, and you don't usually have to answer to anybody else. It feels lonely, but in a challenge, you're not alone because everybody's doing it, right? So fast forward to today. I love the Faithful 40 challenge because the way we do this challenge allows for individuals, like we don't champion like whoever loses the most percentage body weight. We don't do that. We're not like, hey, you win $10,000 if you can drop 130 pounds, regardless of what kind of effect that has on your health or your psychology or your family or anything else. We don't do that. The reason we don't do that is because the Faithful 40 challenge is about being faithful, setting out in the very beginning and saying, for the next 40 days, I'm going to, whatever that is, I'm going to improve my protein intake. I'm going to lift weights 3 times a week. I'm going to stick to my Run 100. I'm going to fix my digestive tract. I'm going to cut out gluten. I'm going to get to bed at the right time every night and wake up the right time every morning. I'm going to set up really positive mindsets in the morning that I can hold on to. And I'm going to report these things to my community. And I'm going to encourage other people in their journey. And for 40 days, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to see what happens. That's the faith part, right? You're faithful in the action, but you're also faithful in that you're not really sure where this is all going to go. So I'll give you an example. We have one individual in our community. He said, hey, one of my takeaways from the Faithful 40 challenge, one of the things that I lost 6 pounds. I was hoping for 10 to 15, but I lost 6 pounds. That's really good in 40 days. By the way, nice job, man, when you're talking about fat loss specifically. And he started working out in a new gym. Like, he's been pursuing this health and fitness thing at his home with some dumbbells and stuff, which is great. But he got a gym membership, and now he's getting acquainted with new people and a new atmosphere. It's always hard to get integrated to that. And he's like, hey, and I got sick. My whole family got sick during this Faithful 40 challenge. And so I've had a few obstacles along the way. And that's what happens when you start a challenge like the Faithful 40 challenge. You say, okay, I'm going to be faithful, and I'm going to have faith that that's going to move me forward, but I don't know where I'm going to end up. There's a story in the Gospels where Peter is on the shoreline and Jesus performs a miracle, and Peter says to Jesus, anything you want, I'll do it. What do you want from me? And Jesus says, follow me. And he says, okay, like I can do that. I can follow you. But Peter doesn't know where he's going. He doesn't know where this journey is going to take him. He doesn't know that he's going to go from a fisherman to a beloved disciple. And he doesn't know that eventually he's going to be the one who starts the church. He preaches the sermon that converts 3,000 people, and boom, there's the church. He's going to be the lead pastor of the Big C church, man. He doesn't know that when he says yes. He just has faith. And that's what you do in a Faithful 40 challenge. You say, these are the things I'm going to do. I don't know where that's going to get me. I don't know how far that's going to take me, but this is what I'm going to do every day. So kudos to you, man, for losing 6 pounds there. Another one said that the consistency in training and diet together are the big things that I'm taking away from this challenge. And that trust the process isn't just a phrase, it's the solution. And for this particular individual, I'm particularly proud of how he's weathered the past 6 months of dealing with surgery and recovery and whatnot, and recently asked me to look at some of his pictures and say, hey, am I making progress here? Where can I be improving and stuff? And it's so cool because when we first started working together, he was not conditioned. But now he has gained a significant amount of muscle. He didn't lose much of it in his surgery recovery, and he hasn't put on the fat that he's lost from having to be a little more sedentary over the past 6 months in recovery. So huge kudos to him. We had another member in our community list out some thoughts that she took away from the Faithful 40 challenge. One was trust. Like, hey, I need to trust God every day, regardless of how much I'm moving, because, he's the one who's sustaining me. And this is a big deal. She's wrestling with a chronic disease that makes it difficult to stay active. And she's saying, look, it's going to be hard regardless of whether or not I'm active. So as another member of our community would say, choose your hard. And she found that this Faithful 40 challenge. She also was saying that being motivated while traveling is difficult. And I get that, because when you're out of your element, when you're away from home, you're away from family, you're away from your normal digs, if you have a place you like to walk or a place you like to run and work out and stuff, and all of a sudden you're in a different environment, it can be pretty hard to motivate yourself. And we'll also say that personally, I've noticed that if I'm on the move, it's easier to just keep moving. It can have the opposite effect. It can take you out of kind of a dull routine and stuff. But she said getting that motivation was difficult, but she did it. She maintained her step goal throughout that period of time. She also said, you know what, I've relied a lot on external motivations to gauge my progress. Things like check marks and trophies on the activity monitor and getting all those things. But that at the end of the day, those internal wins are the things that are important to her. And I've particularly enjoyed reading her posts during the Faithful 40 challenge as she goes on walks and shares some of her thoughts. A lot of them are prayers, a lot of them are internal meditations and dialogue and whatnot. And it's been good for me just because, this is kind of how my heart and mind work when I'm running. So thank you for sharing those. And then she said, hey, the mindset is still my favorite part of this challenge, because I take a moment at the beginning of the day to put out a mindset that I can live with, that might be difficult, but I'm okay with. And then I stick to that mindset because I know I've put it out there. I feel you on that. The mindset and reflection is always my favorite part of this challenge as well, because, it's one thing to put out your nutrition intention. It's another thing to put out your exercise intention. It's another thing to say, hey, this is where my mind's at today, or this is where I'm going to work hard to keep my mind because it's worthwhile to me right now. Another member of our community said, hey, that pause before I post, that pause is a powerful routine, because I know that in the Better Daily community, my picture is going to be right there next to what I have to say. And I want it to be good. This is the Better Daily community. We don't just post garbage, like if you want that, go social media. We don't do that. What we do around here is we lift each other up and we challenge ourselves. And so that pause that I take before I'm like, what do I want to appear next to my name today? That was a powerful practice for her. We also had a member of our community say, hey, man, I got a lot of steps. And I was pretty laser focused on getting my steps this Faithful 40 challenge. So high five to you. Another member of our community said, hey, this has been a very, very trying season in my life. And I've participated in previous Faithful 40 challenges, but I wasn't able to be as present for this one. But thank you guys for the encouragement. And for this individual, you weren't forgotten. And I think that's a nice thing about being a part of this community as well, is even in those times when you're not able to be as active, you'll still get pinged. People will still reach out via message. So people will still tag you in a comment and say, hey, just thinking about you, man. Are you okay? How are things going? How can I pray for you? And hats off to you. I know it's been a very difficult season, and any better that you can pursue right now is, well, it's a struggle. And there are seasons in life like that. So my best to you, brother, as you're going through that. And then we had another member of our community say that the commitment and consistency was reinforced pretty intensely during this Faithful 40 challenge, that she set out to achieve some goals. She wasn't as consistent or committed as she wanted to be over a period of weeks. And then she really buckled down and started seeing the change she wanted to see. And so that was eye-opening and helpful to her. And that's a big deal. I have a client I'm working with right now that because there are so many things going on in her life and because her mind can be so scattered sometimes, not in a bad way, she has her mind on things that matter, but it can feel like, wow, I've been doing this for so long, but I'm not seeing progress. When in reality, she's only really been consistent for 4 days out of the past 4 weeks. And so we actually created a process nice and simple for her to, check some boxes each day and stick it on her fridge so that she can see how long she has been consistent very simply. And so her husband can see and so the people in her environment can encourage her and stuff. And that makes a difference. Am I consistent? Yes or no? What's consistent mean? Well, how long have I been doing this? And 4 days ain't going to cut it. Most of the progress we want to see is a long-term thing, and you have to be consistent to see that progress. For me, the big thing that I was hoping to do in this Faithful 40 challenge was to improve my digestive function. I have so many issues sometimes with regard to my digestive tract. It's not like I eat anything terrible or whatever. It's just, let's say there's a sickness rolling around in my community, and for everybody else, it shows up as a respiratory thing. For me, it's going to show up as a digestive issue. And so I had some gut damage walking into the Faithful 40 challenge. And so through journaling that and through being intentional about that and stuff, I was able to right the ship and get everything working like it's supposed to and improve my protein intake. So now, and this is the last thing I wanted to leave you with, now that the challenge is over, what do you do? Well, I hope that you carry some of the habits and some of the intentionality from this past Faithful 40 challenge. I also hope that you're looking forward to our next one. We'll have our next Faithful 40 challenge. I want to say either September or October 1st. You'll see the actual date for that go out soon. We're going to nail down which month that is. So those are two things you can look forward to and two things you can do. The other thing, though, is to have some benchmarks on your mind to look forward to. And these matter. Benchmarks are, you have the big picture vision. What do I want? What am I moving toward? What does better look like? Fast forward a year from now, what's the best case scenario? That's vision. But benchmarks are little things that are happening along the way. I have two benchmarks in my life before the next Faithful 40 challenge and before a year from now, two things personally that are benchmarks for me. One, I have my 7-year anniversary trip coming up, so a couple weeks, and I'm not like trying to get swimsuit ready, like I maintain a pretty decent shape for myself, but I want to show up well for my wife. We've been married for 7 years. I want her to look at me and see that the man she's been married to for 7 years has continued to take this relationship seriously and is continuing to grow personally, professionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, and that I'm a man that she can admire. That matters to me, that she sees me that way. I hope she sees me that way every day, but I particularly care about that as we're coming up to our 7-year anniversary trip. And then in October, I have an obstacle course race that I'm committed to and I'm excited about. It's the Tough Mudder. And I've got a long way to run and a lot of monkey bars to do and a lot of mud to roll through and hopefully not a lot of burpees to do. So I'm training for that as well. And that's a benchmark in my world. And so when you finish a challenge, it's important that you don't pendulum swing back to old ways of doing things. You use a challenge to teach yourself habits and to learn things about yourself and to grow, and then say, okay, now where can I grow from here? What benchmarks are next? How do I continue to go better? Because I'll tell you what happened in those 90-day challenges for that company I used to work for. People would work so hard to lose as much weight as possible, and they would do things that were just terrible for them. They'd be in the sauna for way too long, and they would work out 10 hours a week, and they would eat very, very low calories, and they would fast before every weigh in and fast some more in order to make sure that they hit that right mark. And it was absurd. They were doing things like taking off from work in order to work out for a 6-hour stint during the day so they could win this money. And as soon as the challenge was over, they would say, finally, whoa, good thing that's done. It's time for a cheeseburger and some fries. I'm never working out again. This was stupid. I can't believe I did it, but I'm so glad it's over. And that is not how we do things. That is not how we do things. When you grow 1% better every day, when the challenge is over, you've grown and you're not done growing. And that's a fundamental difference between a good challenge, a good fitness, health and fitness challenge, and one that's not good for you. So I challenge you Look at the future. What's next? What do you need to get serious about that you haven't been serious about? How can you grow from here? And what benchmarks matter to you that would be motivating and inspiring? I'd love to hear your thoughts on the comments to this live. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for joining me in our Better Daily Summer Shred Faithful 40 Challenge. Until our Fall Faithful 40 Challenge, don't you worry. We still have daily shortcasts. We're still here as a community. We still have the Run 100 and the Walk 100 and the Lift 100 going on right now that you can be a part of. And if you need help, let us know. We'll spur you forward. Guys, this has been Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. I'll see you for Mindset Monday after this week. And until then, it's just 1%. You got this.
Thank you for joining us for your 1% Better today. Don't forget to subscribe for the podcast. Leave us a raving review to tell others how Better Daily has helped you in your journey. If you want more Better Daily, download our app and join our Betterment family at betterdaily.live. Use code POD to get 25% off your subscription. That's POD, all caps, to save 25% on your subscription. We all have a cross to carry. It's lighter when we do it together. Go to betterdaily.live today.